Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on this. This is Automate the Busy Work, Personalize the Experience, Smart Tech for Au Pair Agencies. This is a webinar I really like doing because there is so much out there that I know time and time again, people just are unaware of how they can make their agency work more efficiently, smoother. There's so much technology out there to be doing this, but what is really the right technology to be using, or like what should you know? So we're going to talk about a few things here. What is a CRM and an ATS? I know it's like jargon. Why does this matter? The things that I really think you need to know. I am lucky enough to have this incredible bird's eye view of the industry. And so I know what people are asking for because they ask us at Enginehire to build it all the time. And then what you should be looking for in a CRM and an ATS and other technologies that I think are just must-haves at this point. Who am I, right? Who am I to be given this webinar? Well, I'm Danny Rosenthal. I'm the Director of Partnerships and Community at Enginehire. I have 20 years of experience in the childcare industry. I am a former agency owner. I actually wrote a book called Nanny ABC's The Sitter's Handbook. It's for nannies, but it's all things they must need to know. I host How to Build a Care Agency podcast. If you're in this webinar with me right now, or if you're even watching it on a rerun, I would love to have you as my guest on our podcast. I'm actually on the board of the International Nanny Association. I know it's not the same as being on the IAPA board. So who is this webinar for? It's for people that want to be efficient, they want to save time, and they believe in working smarter, not harder. There's a lot of things out there to help you do all of this. But who is this not for? It's people that hate change or can't change. People that really like doing things the long way or the hard way. Honestly, it would be if you're totally fine with everything that you're doing and you just don't really care. And people that don't mind that others have found another way, or like that you don't mind that you might be missing out on some technologies that I really think you should be looking into. I will say the scope of this webinar is going to be limited to like the CRM and ATS side of things. There's definitely a lot of technologies that are out there to help you in all sorts of ways. But this is really going to focus on helping you with clients, families, candidates, pairs, applicants, and working with your team, honestly. So this is your chance. I'm here for real. You're here. I would love for if you threw in the chat your name, where you're from, honestly, what you would be looking to get out of this webinar. Like I said, I'm right here. I think that's the most important thing about these webinars is you actually have me right now. It's like we're in a meeting together. So you can ask me anything you want to ask me. I'll be looking at this chat the whole time and we can pivot around. So what is a CRM and an ATS? A CRM is a customer relationship management system. That really just means it's for keeping track of the parents and family side of everything. What's an ATS? That is there to keep track of your applicant, your au pair side of everything. They're very similar if you were to really dive deep into what an ATS and a CRM does. There can be slight differences. Most of the time, it's really just to keep track of where people are at in your workflow or your process. A side note to this, because this is about au pairs, agencies, you're also going to need a scheduling or matching side of your platform. So a standard CRM or a standard ATS might not totally get you there. You might be juggling more than one platform right now, but you don't really have to. But anyways, you can get all of these bundled together. That's honestly what Enginehire does. We're a platform made specifically for the care industries. So that would be the au pair industry specifically. We have many clients, like I said, that I'm lucky enough to be, as the director of community, have this opportunity to talk to our clients, talk to people that are interested in our software. So we get to know What is it that you're looking for? So we see that these trends happen, and we get to build out these features that are actually made for you. So there are a lot of CRMs, ATSs, scheduling systems out there. If you're paying for it, I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably fine. It's probably pretty good. But is it exactly made for your industry? Uh, Probably not. And that's okay. You don't need something that does that. What I do think is when you can find software that is specific to your industry, just like finding IAPA as an association for your industry, there's a lot of benefits to having people know exactly what it is that you're working on or going through or how everything works. Being at Enginehire, I can say, and we work with lots of different industries, that every industry is totally different. So all of these softwares out there, they are, you don't really want a generic one. But like I said, it could be totally fine. So, what keeps people back from using a CRM and an ATS? Honestly, it's the flexibility. When you're doing everything by pen and paper or a variation of that, like you're not really using a system, everything is totally possible. You can change anything that you're doing at any moment. Every client, candidate, au pair, family, you can treat them all completely different. It's the maximum of freedom. I don't think that that's something that you really want. It creates a lot of time wasted or energy. But that would be the fear of going into using a CRM and an ATS. What else? Are you going to lose any of those things that make you super high touch? I will tell you, you don't have to. But all of those emails that you write every time, I actually wrote in here, like, if you don't write an email from scratch, do you really care? That is honestly conversations that I've had with owners. They feel like they need to start every email from scratch, even though they've written this email hundreds of times. They need to start from scratch, even though you could easily have a template that you could also then have it tailor. And we'll get into that as we go. Will you miss opportunities if you have a system that's more or less binary, like where you go into certain options, your families are going in a certain workflow? Yeah, so that would be kind of why people don't use it. Here's the benefits of why I really think a good one can really benefit you. It can make your habits, like the best parts about what you do, it can enhance that. They really can. It gives not just ultimate flexibility, like your pen and paper method or an Excel spreadsheet or however you might be doing it, or multiple platforms to help you orchestrate everything. It gives you flexibility where it matters. So like, we have like email templates, so you don't write that email over and over and over again, but you can enhance that template for that specific family or that specific au pair. And then a really good CRM and an ATS, they'll help you maximize your time. It'll help you do more. It'll take the things that you hate doing or that are hard, or in my mind, things that are just stressful. Writing a ton of emails, that is over and over again, it's just like a mental load that I don't like having to lift every time. So what would be the difference is higher touch, no CRM, higher touch, fewer clients, but it takes more time versus something that's streamlined. Maybe it's lower quality, but it's more quantity, right? I'll tell you again, with a really good CRM that focuses on your specific needs, you don't have to choose one or the other. It can really be both. You can have a lot of families. You can have a lot of au pairs. It can be really efficient. You don't have to spend a lot of time doing everything. And it can be super high touch. Like I said, I work with a lot of agencies, and we really try to make sure that everybody is using the system in the way that works for them. I guess one of those things that I really didn't mention, but is definitely worth mentioning, is that a lot of systems can kind of make you do things in a certain way. So when you sign up for Zoho or Salesforce or something like that, it makes you do things in a certain order, in a certain way, and there's like limitations on that. There are a lot of great software options out there. They're not all like that. So again, think about like what you need help with, what you really hate doing, and look for things that solve that solution specifically. Another few advantages of having a really great CRM or an ATS system is it spots the inefficiencies in your workflow, in your process. Where are people getting stuck? You want to know that stuff. When you're doing things, again, in that pen and paper way, you don't really know. A really great CRM will help you make your system more transferable to your admins, to your team. And it builds a business that runs with less people because it doesn't take all that mental load or those people to be in those emails all the time. I say emails because I know it's a lot of emails or what's happening. It could be meetings. So here's an example. This is actually a screen grab of part of Enginehire. And so, I put out there, why are people stuck in this spot? So, there's two people in application started. Why are they stopping there? Like, how long have they been in there? These are things that you should know if you have a really good CRM. It should tell you where people are getting stuck, why they're getting stuck there. You should be able to figure all those things out. The CRM advantages, they're life advantages. Quality work, completed efficiency, gives more time for you. However you want to use that. I know people that need more me time. People need more time to work on their business and stay out of their business. I feel like that's the thing that everybody says, but that's really important. You got to put your mask on first type of thing. Honestly, think about that daily. Yeah. Okay. So here's a few drawbacks, but before we even talk about those, I'm just going to say there's solutions to all of these. So drawbacks, it could cost a lot. It doesn't have to. That would be a solution, is like they don't have to cost a lot, but they could. Maybe the very perfect system for you costs a lot more than you want to spend. There's a learning curve. You have to learn a new system. Everybody hates learning a new system. It doesn't matter what system you're coming from or going to. You have to learn the way that it does that. And then there's the fear of what is it that makes your agency stand out, losing that magic. And again, I don't think you have to give up any of those things. You can choose a really flexible system. You can choose one that's cost effective for your needs. And you can invest in things like onboarding to make that learning curve easier, or you could just spend time. That is something that you should give yourself time to learn these systems. What can they do for you? Book a demo with people. I know that you probably do this because I know that I did this when I was running my agency. I would tell people all the time, this is, if you're a family, this is not what you do all of the time. You should book some meetings with au pair agencies and find out what it is that they're doing that makes all of this easier. Don't learn this stuff from scratch. There's no need to. There's experts like you out there that can be leading the way for that. So same thing here. Give yourself some time to learn how these systems work. Now I'm going to dive into maximizing your CRM. So I want you to think about this for a minute. How long does it take you to write an email? What is that email that you write all of the time, and how long, the fastest you can write it? How fast does it take you to write this email? Throw it in the chat if you actually feel confident of how long does it take you to do this. Does it take you 3 minutes? That's pretty good for an email, 3 minutes. Does it take you 1 minute? We're going to jump ahead. I'm going to say maybe 5 minutes. Sophia, I totally agree with you. I really think it does. But how about it taking 0 time? That's what a really good CRM and an ATS can do for you. It doesn't have to take any time. Emails that you write all the time, they can be totally automatic. You can write it one time really good. I know that you do that, Sophia. I know that you're doing that. You're writing basically the same stuff that you write over and over again, but you're doing it again and you just don't have to. The really low end version of this would be copying and pasting, right? You can do that too. Start, if anything, I want you guys to think about just writing down some of those emails that you write over and over again. What makes them really good? What makes them not as good? Tailor these. Really put some time into making sure that these emails are really clear. And if you're writing that same email over and over again, you don't have to. Write it down one time, copy and paste it if you want. let's talk about this for a second. And this is why I thought, Sophia, you're like so spot on with the maybe 5 minutes, because I think that too. And that's why I use that as my example. So the old way, you'd be spending 5 times per email, right? So 10 emails, that's 50 minutes. That's almost an hour. 12 emails, that is an hour. That's a lot of time. With a CRM, you could probably do it in 30 seconds. It can be just as high touch, honestly. And we'll go through that in like one more slide. That can be just as high touch, but you don't have to spend it. You can spend 30 seconds on what is usually a 5-minute email. Now that's 10 minutes for the same amount of emails. I guess that's 11 minutes if we go with the 60 minutes, 12 emails. Then that's only 11 minutes. That's awesome. That's 45 minutes saved or 55 minutes saved. I know now I'm like feeling like I'm messing with the math too much, but it's out there. You can really cut down a lot on what you're doing. And this is just one piece of it. Emails are not the biggest function of a CRM, but that is, if you're getting 10 emails in a day and you're spending 50 minutes or responding to those emails, that's not fun. And I know that is a waste of your time. You have way more things to do. So let's do this together. I'm going to jump out of this screen. I'm actually going to open up this screen. Cool. So this is inside an Enginehire demo platform. And this is kind of what I was saying about why are these people stuck here? Let's do the email though. So this is how easy you really can be. You don't have to be using Enginehire to do this, but I just want you to know this is what this could be. In fact, I've already done this the long way. Let me go back. Okay, this is how easy it is. Okay, we're going to pretend Marty McFly just applied to work with my au pair agency. So he's in application started. Okay, so he's in this scenario, he's writing his application. We want to make him, I don't know, let's see what we actually have here and where there's an email. So let's put him in apply. Let's pretend this is him going into application approved, but he's going to go into apply. Okay, so this is where my 30 seconds starts. Okay, you got him there. Yes, I want to change him there. Here's my email. Send. This is because it does the countdown, 10 seconds. Okay, right? This one we don't need. This one would go to my admin if we were really doing that. Here's another thing, though, with this. Let's make it really tailored. Okay, so I'm going to put him back in application started so we can try this again. Yep. And now I'm going to put him back in apply. Okay, let's make this really tailored. That thing you said about IAPA was amazing. Okay, and then send, right? So we hit send that. So now it's really tailored. It's that thing that you send over and over again with a little bit that makes it really tailored to them. And that's why I make it like 30 seconds. There could be, and you could do it in our system. So I'm sure you could do it in other systems where it just sends automatically. So if somebody gets into your platform at a certain spot, and it just does it. So now imagine what you're doing. What is that email that you send all the time? And imagine that it was that easy to do. That's more freedom, more growth. Does that sound good to you? You can actually write in the chat if you think that this does sound better to you. Let know. Let's just move on to trends that you need to know. Great. So here's those things that CRMs could be doing for you. I'm sharing this with you because I think these are the things that you should be thinking about because they might not be part of your workflow already or in the way that you do your matching. These would be like those extra things that I want you to start looking into. So abandoned cart. We all get this whenever we go shopping. It is that email that you get when you throw things into your cart like I do and I don't purchase anything, and then I get an email 5 minutes later that says, hey, Danny, you have these really amazing items in your cart. Do you want to? You should probably check out and buy them. You can do that same thing with a really good CRM and an ATS. So you can have it so somebody is applying to your agency, family, or au pair, and then they stop. They don't hit submit for whatever reason. Maybe that sound that goes on the laundry goes off and they're like, oh, I need to flip the load over. So they just stop. It's not because they don't love everything you're doing. Something else happened in life, so they stop. You can also have that email go out that then says, hey, you should keep filling this out. And again, this also kind of goes with that, like, understanding where is it that people are leaving off in your process. It could be in the application. It could be in that next step when they have to sign documents. It could be that next step in replying when you've sent them matches and they go, oh, like, I love that person. I don't love that person. What is the next step here? Maybe it's that step in meeting with you. Where are all of these places that people just slow down? They don't need to. You can, if you use emails like this, you can keep them moving through your platform. Okay, so this is the same thing right there. Is when people are slowing down, that you have the opportunity for an email to send that you're not spending time. Someone is in that part where they're supposed to book a meeting with you and they just have not done it. So instead of you remembering to email them or getting a message or putting it on your to-do list, you could just have your software send them a message when they've been in it for 10 minutes, 10 days, 5 days, 2 hours. Doesn't matter. You can decide when that email needs to go out. You could have that same email go out many times. It doesn't have to just be once, right? Being reminded to do things once, like, think about that in your own home life, right? Like, how many times do you have to remind yourself to do something before you actually do it? I bet it's more than one time. I know it is for me. Okay, here's another one that you should be doing. So far we talked about, like, an abandoned cart, an email that reminds people to keep going wherever they are in your process, and then video introductions. This is an amazing one. There's software out there that can help you do this without being in a CRM. It's definitely in Enginehire. It's probably in other softwares. This is really cool. There's a couple really cool ways you can use this type of thing. You can use this for when your au pairs are signing up with you, that they could have to do an introduction that's like, hey, give us 30 seconds on why you want to work with us, right? So then your team gets that. If now you feel like you've met that person, you can really decide already if they're worth pursuing or not. Here's another thing that I think is really cool. In our system, so probably in other variations, when you're doing that match, it prompts you to send a video of why you're sending this au pair to this family. And I think it's really cool because it's not just an email, so it's not something that they're just reading. You can write the email and do the video. You don't have to do one or the other. And they get to see it on your face of why you think this person is the one for you, or them, sorry. Why is this person an incredible person to be working with? Here is another one. Simplified matching. I'll actually show you. We could do this again inside the platform. So how long does it take everybody here to do all of the matches that they have to do? I imagine when I was running my agency, it felt like it was taking 2 days because you have to send an email. Everybody gets that cursory 24 hours to reply to an email. And you're just trying to make these meetings happen. So it's super annoying. What happened here is we actually had a bunch of agencies come to us saying, this takes 2 days. It's really annoying. How can we make this better? And so I scratched my head on this, but our development team did not. They actually came up with an idea in like an hour. And this is basically what they did. So in our system, you would make a match. So we're pretending I'm a family now. I see Jennifer. I think maybe she's a good fit. I click this to view Jennifer's profile. I'm like, yeah, this is great. Okay. So then I click, I'm interested in Jennifer. And then it asks you things like, hey, what are some times you want to meet? And I go, okay, I'm free on Saturday. That sounds like a good time. We'll do it at noon. And I also think Saturday at 1, I'm also free. I want to do it virtually. Great. So here's what happens in this instance. It just sent Jennifer an email that says, here's these 2 times. Which times work for you? And then Jennifer can go that time or not that time, and like insert the process over again. But that took, even with me fumbling over this, that took like 2 minutes for us to schedule that interview. Just totally hands off. Remember, I had only done the match that I thought was a great match. I sent that video, which I didn't actually do, but we pretended that I sent a video being like, Jennifer is the one for you. So then they got that email. They looked at the profile of Jennifer and they clicked, yes, I actually am interested in Jennifer. Then it asked them right away, so you're hands off here, when do you want to meet with Jennifer? So then they put that in, hands off, right? It sent Jennifer an email, hands off again, that said, hey, out of these 2 times, which time works for you, right? So that thing that took 2 days, it took about 2 minutes, right? That is what can make all of this stuff so awesome. You don't need anything fancy to be doing any of these trends. There's a lot of things probably on your computers already that do some of these functions. My suggestion is, of course, you should find a platform that you love using, that you want to use. Ask your fellow agency owners, what platform did they use? What did they like about it? What don't they like about it? But you don't need fancy stuff to be doing a lot of these trending things. You can take a video on your computer. I know you can. Well, I don't know for certain that you can, but I know that I have that just on my computer as a piece of software I use. I could use QuickTime to do it, right? I could put that in an email and send that. So you don't need these things. So like, again, like the sending reminder emails, you don't need fancy software to do that. You can just do that yourself. You could just send a bunch of reminder emails. I think everywhere somebody is in your process, you should have an email there to remind them to keep moving through your process. But there's a lot of things that like help you do these tech moments. So it's not about awesome software. It is about, at least for these trends, it's just about, experimenting and willing to give things a try to enhance what you're already doing. Okay, now, aside from the trending ones, these are the actual must-haves that I want you to think about when you're thinking about a CRM that's right for you. Collaboration accounts. You should have a system that gives those other admins that you work with, or other owners or agencies, that all those suppliers, give them access to your account. So in Enginehire, we have it. And again, that's because Enginehire is specifically built for au pair agencies. You can have those collaborators put their families or au pairs right into your system to keep it moving along. And you can see that it came from that person. It didn't just come from your application. It came from your collaborator, your suppliers. So that would be something to look for. It's like, because you're an au pair agency, you're not just needing a CRM and an ATS. You need something that does that functionality. So think about that. Sharing tools. How easy is it for you to send a document that needs to be signed? Can it have a signed document in there? Profile sharing, like I shared Jennifer with the family, that would probably be something you would want. Here's some solutions for that. Is the families have portals, collaborations accounts. Again, that's for sharing clients and candidates, au pairs and families. And like a public links, or like just URLs or links that you can share these profiles. So this profile has a certain URL that you can then send to a family. There's a lot of things that we could dive into about all of that. Then you would really want some high quality search and filtering tools, because again, you are matching people. You want a system that can find the right candidates really quickly, and even potentially automatically. So when a family comes in looking for A, B, and C, it would know automatically that here are those candidates, those au pairs that can do A, B, and C. It could be that easy. Again, think about that 30-second email versus a 5-minute email. How long does it take you to find a really good match for a family? Okay, so a few more things to consider. These are just overall any CRM, okay? What is it that you need your workflow to do? How is it that you work? A good CRM and an ATS should be able to duplicate that, or at least get really close. You shouldn't have to change everything you're doing. You don't have to. That's what this webinar is all about, really, is you don't have to change all of the things you're doing because you've decided to use software. There are software and tools out there, so you don't have to change. You can just do what you're doing better, faster, simpler. Automations. That's automations like in emails, in adding documents, in to-dos for your team, in to-dos for your clients and candidates. The automations can truly be endless in what is being automated. Billing tasks, charging people. Just think about all the things that you spend a lot of time doing, or any time at all. Just start writing down what it is that you're doing, and then go, this one takes a lot of time. Which is the solution that can help me do that way better? And then compliance, sharing, like I've talked about before, and reporting. Those are all going to be must-haves for you. You're going to need software that is compliant in the ways that you need compliance. So you would know your own compliance. I know that it can differ. I know that we've spent a lot of time at Enginehire making sure that we are compliant in all of the ways that you can be compliant. GDRP, IAPA for us, SOC2, and then reporting tools. Those are all the things that can help you see where are your clients, where are they at in your system, or where are your families, where are your candidates, or your au pairs in your system, and why aren't they moving through it all the way to the finish line? The goal of a CRM comes down to a couple things. It should be doing all of the heavy lifting for you, and it should be continually getting your families and au pairs to the finish line, to be placeable and to make a placement. It's just that, right? What are the tools that can help you do that better? In this, I added this grab the guide. That guide is a few tools that we talked about. It also talks about AI and how you can be using that. I know AI is almost a buzzword at this point, but there's a lot of things you can do with it that you should consider doing, or at least, again, know about. And then to connect with us, it would be a really easy way to connect with me if you wanted to. You could also connect with me and I'll drop it in the chat, Danny@enginehire.ca. Feel welcome to reach out to me. And ask me anything that you want to ask. Again, everything should be tailored to the way that you run your business. What is it that makes your business magical? For tools, no matter what they are, if we're thinking broader than a CRM and an ATS, it should just be enhancing the magic that is your agency. It should be making it easier for you, for your team, for your au pairs, and for your families to get to that finish line better. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. But thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.